If you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Welcome back to your Valley Sports Plug VSP Live. It's Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026, and I'm your host, Chris Patrick. The Kyler Murray era is officially over. The Arizona Cardinals inch a little bit closer in the Malik Willis sweepstakes. Your Arizona Wildcats basketball claim the Big 12 regular season title. The Phoenix Suns convert the contract of Jamaree Bouyea, and so much more. Joining me tonight to talk about all of this are my fearless co-hosts, Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman. What's going on, fellas?
Oh, there's a lot going on, Chris. Today, officially, I'm going to mark it for the Valley. This is going to be an annual holiday, at least for me. March 3rd, mark your calendars, man. If it wasn't a school night, dude, I'd be forcing you guys out to the bar and we'd be celebrating this news of Kyler Murray. But obviously it's not official yet, but it's going to happen. So it's exciting stuff. Mike, what's up?
The worst kept secret finally comes to fruition. I'm excited to talk about it, guys. I know a lot of people are on both sides of the spectrum, but I did ask to go second because I have some breaking news for the people. You guys know this. My co-hosts don't know this, but if you've been following VSP, we do this every single year. So I'm just going to drop the ball right now. The 4th annual Phoenix Suns ticket giveaway is coming soon. The game will be Tuesday, March 24th against the Denver Nuggets. You're talking about 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, old friend Cam Johnson. This is going to be a great game because you're getting closer towards the end of the season and the Suns will be fighting for playoff seeding. But if you know us, you've seen it before. You get 2 tickets in section 1, 109, row 11. You get a parking pass, and new this year, you also get access to the FanDuel season ticket holder lounge. And if you're watching the stream, there's going to be a giveaway that night. It's that cool mechanic Phoenix Suns black shirt right there that you see on screen. So there's a whole lot going into the giveaway this year, but that's all you get for right now. I'm not telling you where we're doing it. We might do it on Instagram. We might do it on Twitter. We might do it on Threads. You got to stay tuned and you got to make sure you're following us on socials because in about a week, more information will be coming on how to enter. So it's here, gentlemen. The 4th annual. I can't believe we're already at 4 years with the Suns ticket giveaway, but that's what I got, Chris. How are you doing today?
Mike, I'm doing good. Even better now that you've dropped that news on us. If I didn't have this headset on, I would take my hat off and I would tip my cap to you. So maybe I'll just tip it to you there. Love it. I love the ticket giveaway. It's a great time to increase engagement, share the show with your friends, and get a chance to win some tickets as well. That FanDuel Sports Lounge, the season ticket holder lounge, it's actually pretty cool. We've gone in there, I think, every time you've been gracious enough to take me to a game with you this year. And what's extra awesome, I don't want to, spend too much time on this, but if, like Mike said, there's a giveaway, and if you go through that very specific entrance, you have a much higher chance of getting the giveaway item because, fewer people and so on and so forth. But anyway, definitely make sure you guys stay tuned. Definitely more to come on that. Very exciting times. But gentlemen, plenty to get into tonight. Very excited to get to the topics at hand. Before we do, I just want to thank anyone who's tuning in live or listening on the playback. We appreciate you. Make sure you follow us right here on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification bell so you can find out when we're going live and when we post new videos. You can also follow us at AZ_VSP on Instagram, X, TikTok, and so much more. All of our links are going to be down in the description below. And most importantly, share the show with your friends. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you miss us live or you're not watching on YouTube, you can also listen to us on audio-only podcasts at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so much more. Like I said, links in the description below. But gentlemen, the matters at hand here and the breaking news today, the announcement that the impending release of Kyler Murray is upon us, man. And Tallman seems very happy about it, indeed, which I certainly don't blame him. But I will just, for our audio only listeners, briefly read this post that Kyler Murray put out on X. He said, "To everyone that supported me and showed kindness to my family and I during my time in AZ, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I wanted nothing more than to be the one to end the 77-year drought for this organization. I'm sorry I failed us, and I wish this community and my brothers nothing but the best. I am no stranger to adversity. I am prepared for whatever's next. I trust in God and my work ethic. I truly believe my best ball is in front of me, and I look forward to proving it. Godspeed," with his little karate emoji that he always posted. A little bit of a shot there with the 77 year drought, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he just had to slide that in there. But hey, it's factual. He's not lying. I mean, not lying at all. So I mean, I'll first start it off with. So I don't hate the guy, right? I don't wish him the worst wherever he goes, but it's like it's about time. I mean, you look at last season, we had the longest ever divorce in the history of NFL, which he takes that little shot at the end where it looks like he got everything he wanted from the franchise, right? He got the soft benching, he got put on the IR, they had the phantom injury, all that mid-foot sprain or whatever. It's about time. So with this though, it's I don't know about you guys, but I don't. He did a lot of good stuff here in the Valley. We had a couple good seasons, but for 7 years, it's time that's happened. And for a first overall pick, only one playoff appearance, and in that playoff appearance, it was one to forget. So he's not somebody I'm going to hate. When he goes to the Jets or to the Vikings, I'm not going to wish that he gets hurt or whatever. But I mean, for a guy that just seemed like he gave up on his team, lacked the leadership, was afraid to get hit when. What's the most important thing in football is hitting people and getting hit by other people. It's just about time that he's out of here. And it's a damn shame that we couldn't get anything back, but it's no surprise. Everybody knew it was he was going to get released if we couldn't find a trade partner. No one's taking on that contract. But hey, like I said in the intro here, it's a holiday for me now where finally it's over, and I'm just excited to see somebody else and stop being so frustrated about Kyler Murray and what he does on a football field. So good news today.
The one big thing that I will say about this is I feel like this is truly an unceremonious end for Kyler Murray because, like I had stated, this was the worst kept secret by the organization when they kept trying to pander to the fan base and to the national media about these injuries of Kyler Murray when we knew that the divorce happened literally I think the week of the Indianapolis Colts game because he was supposed to play and then all of a sudden the foot kind of sprung up once again. And then that's when Jonathan Gannon, Drew Petzing were able to really kind of take to fruition putting Jacoby Brissett in there for the rest of the year. And then they could move on and go their separate ways, basically. Man, 7 years, guys, nobody, no quarterback, no player should ever get that amount of time to figure out if you are the one. But I'm glad that the Arizona Cardinals are moving in the next direction. It just needed to happen, guys. And especially with the cap hits that were going to be had, now they're going to release them next Wednesday, but nobody wanted to trade for him because of all those future guarantees in the contract. And now the Arizona Cardinals finding themselves paying over $50 million in dead cap money. It's interesting to see how this is going to affect what they have to do in free agency, because the other thing that we really know is that this is the last year for Monty Ossenford as well. He has to win. And taking this type of cap hit, what does that do to the free agents you'll be able to bring in? But Chris, before I pass it over to you, I'm the stats guy. Let me give them one last time for good old Kyler Murray. Yes, it started out with promise. He was the offensive rookie in the year in 2019. He was a two-time Pro Bowler. But overall, within his career, 87 starts. He went 38, 48, and 1. 121 passing yards to 60 interceptions. So you're looking at about a 2-to-1 rate. But then the big ones, guys, 1 playoff appearance in 7 years and 8-22 versus the NFC West. So when you're consistently not beating your own division and you're not leading your team to the playoffs, the time has come. So I don't know if I'm ready to mark it on the calendar, Tallman, but I am very excited that this decision has been made and it's not lingering anymore because it's time to move on.
Yeah, and I agree with you guys. I think this is the best thing for the Arizona Cardinals. This is the best thing for Kyler Murray. Going on a third head coach would just be too many chances. You know, it's not, we don't need to get to 3 strikes and you're out, especially with the amount of time it's been. And a lot of people might be wondering, you know, Mike mentioned releasing him next Wednesday on March 11th. And why not just do it now? And that's because the league year doesn't start until next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So expect that 1 p.m. local time here as the clocks roll back this weekend for anybody outside of Arizona. That'll probably happen pretty quick. They're going to want to move on from him. And man, those numbers are brutal. You see here in Adam Schefter's tweet, Arizona already owes him $36.8 million guaranteed in 2026. And if they don't release him by March 15th, they'd owe him another $19.5 million for 2027. So it's really the only option. Now, I think whatever he signs a deal for whatever team he's going to next kind of offsets, like they'll pick up probably 1.3 million. So the Cardinals will really only owe him, what would that be? Quick math, 36.7 million or so, which that's obviously no consolation, but teams know that the Cardinals are going to be paying him the majority of that. So that's why he's going to be willing to take that minimum contract. I've seen speculation that people think he'll ask for a no trade clause potentially on a 1-year deal or even a no tag clause because he wants to try and go out there, get a starting gig somewhere, prove himself, and then sign another big contract so he can still make some money. I mean, there's no denying Kyler Murray's talent. You don't win the Heisman Trophy being a bum. Now, the college game is very different from the pro game, and I don't know if it really ever translated. And Tallman, you really touched on it, man. His lack of leadership, what he lacked in leadership, he couldn't make up for in skill and ability. It's like you can't have that in a situation when you're talking about the most important position in football, the quarterback position, and on top of everything else we've talked about for years and years, his inability to hang in the pocket. He couldn't outrun these bad O-lines and the bad schemes and all of that. So we're going to see where he goes next. Now, I want to get into the speculation on his next landing spots because, of course, those are flooding in. But I wanted to ask you guys, and maybe I'll kick this to Tallman first. Considering the news broke today, and I think part of that was that they tried to trade him probably after he got benched at that Titans game, and then again at the scouting combine here that's been going on the past week or so, and nobody was biting. Nobody wanted to take on that contract and trade for Kyler Murray, likely knowing it was because the release was impending and the divorce was imminent. So I ask you this with hindsight now, was benching him the wrong move, really eliminating his trade market?
You know, we had that discussion too, right? And then we threw out the question of, well, what if he starts and he gets hurt? And then boom, that totally diminishes any possible trade value that he could have. You know, I wish we could be a fly on the wall when those discussions were had, because obviously he's warming up with the ones, I think, Mike, you said it before, the Indy game or the Dallas game or whatever it was, where it's like, he's good to go. And then someone told him, hey, you're not starting. Right. That was, remember, Jonathan Gannon's like, well, he'll have a role, but, you know, our starter is going to be Brissett. So, you know, he's got that pride thing, man, which, I mean, from somebody that's had so much success, you mentioned it, winning the Heisman Trophy, winning at every single level, and then running into the brick wall of the NFL. I mean, who knows? Maybe he got, you know, offended by that. But I don't know if there was something coming out of Kyler's camp where it was, if we're not the starting quarterback, we're not playing for the Cardinals, where you would hope that's not it, because that right there is the definition of giving up on your team, giving up on the other 52 guys in that locker room, which that also just screams the lack of leadership. So I don't want to, again, I'm speculating. We obviously don't know. This was kept so under wraps that, I mean, I hope that he goes to another team in a year from now. We have the tell-all written by Kyler Murray to talk about kind of this divorce and what went into it, because there's something missing. We don't have all the details. But I guess in hindsight, looking back on it, I don't know. Because if he came back and he won the last 5 games or whatever, are we even talking about him even being released or traded? Or are we talking about him coming back and being the starting quarterback in 2026? Does Jonathan Gannon still have a job? There's a lot of moving parts and what ifs to that question. But even at the end of the day, it's still a big contract. And then also if you tried to ship him out to the Jets, do you think he wants to go, play for the Jets? One of these teams aren't going to absorb that big contract unless they know for a fact that he wants to be there. He's going to give it all, and he's going to go and be his best self possible. So it's hard to say now. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, though, of course, you'd want to showcase him a little bit. So maybe someone like the Browns would swoop in and say, yeah, we'll give you a 6th round pick. We'll pay him all that money. We don't give a shit. We look what we did with Deshaun Watson. But really, at the end of the day, there was nothing. There was no way that he was going to get traded. And the funny part about it is we've called that for the last 12 to 18 months that no one's taken on this contract. And we're seeing the only possible option here, which is the release.
And I think I saw John Gambadoro post something to that extent of they weren't really trying to trade Kyler Murray the player. They were trying to trade Kyler Murray the contract. So there are obviously teams interested in the services of Kyler Murray. It's just at that price, it's a big ask because he just hasn't played up to that contract in any means. And it is a disappointing end to the era. I mean, Mike, would you say that I don't even know, man, like, had the contract not been as massive, or had they had something else to sweeten the deal, that they could have enticed another team? Would you be willing to trade a high draft pick, like a 2nd or 3rd rounder, just to move off Kyler Murray?
Man, obviously the contract was the entire holdup thing, but put away the win-loss statistics aside, Kyler Murray has proven that he is a starting caliber quarterback for the NFL. Like there's no questions about that. We weren't questioning about that, but we were starting to have more issues with, the overall health. Since he tore his ACL, it seems like his deep ball and his just general speed and willingness to get outside of the pocket and run like he did within the first 4 seasons of his career has been different. So leveraging a 2nd or 3rd round pick for Kyler, I don't know. You're probably looking at, I would say, day 3 pick, but a 4th rounder, which can be a difference maker at the end of the day. Gentlemen, man, it's not like this crept up on us, but now as it's becoming official, you kind of start to think about what has happened truly with Kyler Murray at the helm over the past couple of years, going from such promise during the D-Hop days, the 10-2 start, then hoping that he was going to be the answer to turn things around from that start in 2021, going into 2022, getting his big contract, which was, yes, marred with, its own discrepancies with the homework clause. But that was also a proof showing that this organization is still in despair from its leadership standpoint, and specifically with Michael Bidwell. Kyler didn't need that contract there. There was no reason to sign him to a 5-year extension there. Cliff Kingsbury didn't need an extension, and Steve Keim definitely didn't either. I think Michael was just panicking because he finally saw some halfway decent success once again and wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page. But then we know how the cookie crumbled from that. Overall, the big thing that I will always remember at this point now, gentlemen, is all 3 of us being in attendance for Kyler Murray's last game as an Arizona Cardinal and him taking a snap off of the helmet. I think it just quintessentially puts a nice little bow on the end of this really, really just tough era, man. Once again, this is the last thing I'll say. Arizona sports strikes out again on a number 1 overall pick, and it's just so discouraging to see.
Yeah, quite an unceremonious end to an era. And man, yeah, that Titans game, I was thinking about that today. Like there is no way that we all 3 happened to be in attendance for that game. Up 21-6 at halftime, to go on and not score a single point in the second half and give up 16 in the fourth quarter. You have got to be kidding me. And then the obvious, I don't know, we don't have to relitigate the past, but the snap off the face mask and then him not diving on the goddamn football, I think that just encapsulates Kyler Murray's time with the Cardinals and his unwillingness to take a hit. And really, I hate to say it, but points to his, again, I'll double down on it, his lack of leadership. A leader is willing to put his body on the line. And I know he had a major injury, didn't want to get hurt again, but hey, buddy, you chose to play quarterback. Nobody made you play quarterback. You could go play baseball and slide into bases and be just fine, but you wanted to be the quarterback. Anyway, guys, I know it's funny because we've said we're done talking about Kyler Murray and he was on the team, but now I don't know if we're done talking about Kyler Murray, because definitely once he signs elsewhere, we're going to have to talk about that. And then once the season starts and these games start being played, if he is the starting quarterback somewhere, which he will be, we're going to have to check in on him then as well to see how he's doing with his new team. And he thinks his best football is in front of him. I have my doubts, but I do wish him the best of luck. I don't hate Kyler Murray, the person. I kind of hate Kyler Murray, the player on the Arizona Cardinals, and him bringing nothing and wasting nearly a decade of all of our time. I know all the blame isn't on his. There are a lot of factors at play. We've talked about that a lot, and I'm sure we'll revisit it, but farewell, Kyler. You will not really be missed by me. But with Kyler leaving, that opens the door and opens up questions for who will be the next starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. And I don't want to get ahead of myself and say franchise quarterback, because I kind of feel like that's off the table going into this season. We, as Mike used to say, I haven't heard you say it in a while, we need to pump the brakes just a little bit. But man, guys, the sweepstakes is, I don't even know if you could call it a sweepstakes. The list of mediocre quarterbacks is growing. I made a short list here. Tallman, I'll start with you. I want to throw out a couple names that I've seen floated around, and I want you to tell me which one you're the most interested in and which one you're the least interested in, and then comment on anything else further from there. So I have, and this is in no particular order, obviously Malik Willis is the hot button one. That's a lot. There are a lot of people clamoring for that. He had a pretty good finish in Green Bay last season, and that people think that that's setting up for him to get a big payday and a good opportunity this season. Now the Cardinals seem to be in on that. Another one, Jimmy Garoppolo. There is Tyson Bagent from the Chicago Bears. Tua Tagovailoa, I think he's set to be released by the Dolphins, or is he just a straight up free agent?
He's under contract. So,
okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see about that one. And then the last one I had on my short list here, again, not my list, just names I've seen floated in rumors, is your boy Kirk Cousins. I know how much Tallman loves Kirk Cousins. So which one of those names is most appealing to you?
Oh, my Lord.
Wait, I did have one more. And the other option, running it back with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, so it's okay. So which one I'd probably be leaning towards favoring Jacoby Brissett as a run back, because I don't know if this year is the year that you go all in, especially when you owe Kyler Murray the $35+ million. I mean, your salary cap's going to be eaten up by $80 million if you go and try to pay Malik Willis. What they're trying to say, he's going to get $30 million a year for Malik Willis. I mean, I get that he looked good in Green Bay and whatnot, but that's in Green Bay. You know, that's with their system. That's with that roster. Is he going to translate? Do you think? I just don't see any scenario where you plug and play Malik Willis into an Arizona Cardinals team and he is just an all-out, all-star or whatever. I just don't see it. And trying to pay him that much money, it doesn't make sense when it's pretty clear that we're looking for the franchise quarterback, and it's pretty clear that that's probably going to come in the 2027 draft, where that draft class of quarterbacks is looking pretty good. So I'm more favoring Jacoby Brissett. I'm least favoring Malik Willis, because if his price tag is going to be that high, it just doesn't make sense for this team. It doesn't make sense for what they're already going to be paying at that position. And honestly, I just don't have faith in him coming here and being successful.
Man, what a list, Chris. Some of those names that you're putting out there, just I'm vomited in my mouth just a little bit when you talk about guys like Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't even want to say his name correctly. Like, oh my God, he hasn't been relevant in at least 5 years, right? And I know he has the ties to Mike LaFleur, Kirk Cousins. No, thank you. These other guys, unproven talents, Tyson Bagent. That's why, It's crazy. And Tallman, I love that you brought it up, because you really put it into my mind. As a fan, I would 100% be okay at this point with the decision that has been made with the release of Kyler Murray and running it back with Jacoby Brissett. Because let's talk about all the other pieces that we have to build up once again. This team is not where it was in 2023, obviously. there's a lot more playmakers than there were. But if you don't have the true captain at the quarterback position, paying somebody like Malik Willis $30 million for a 1-year rental, it just kind of seems crazy to me. And like we said, the 2027 draft class for quarterbacks is going to be a loaded one, especially with all these guys who were supposed to come out this year, staying for one more year and eventually coming back. But it does sound like Malik Willis is at the top of the list in regard to what can be paid based off of the available teams that are still searching for quarterbacks, right? And you talk about the Cleveland Browns, they're still paying Deshaun Watson $80 million. The Miami Dolphins, who eventually will be releasing Tua Tagovailoa, they have like $750,000 in cap space. They literally couldn't even sign a draft class right now when it comes down to the free agent beginning. So here, Matthew Berry, he said the rumor is it's going to be $30 million and he's going to be starting for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm kind of just numb at this point, guys. Like it's not even what I want. It's just get somebody in here. Let's get into next year. And then let's get through this first season with Mike LaFleur without too many bumps and bruises. Like from a fan standpoint, that's where I'm kind of sitting right now in regard to expectations for next year.
See, sorry, Chris, I just don't get all this hype on Malik Willis. Like, pull up his career stats. The dude,
Thank you.
He hasn't done shit. How is he going to get $30 million? And I love people reporting this, or I think that was probably a fan page or whatever, the Cardinals. I didn't fully see the name, but it's like, why would you want what I don't have my full screen on. So I'm looking at a small, anyway, don't worry about it. But as a fan,
Matthew Berry is.
Yeah. So I'm not full screen anyway. Okay. But like, why would you even want that? Like, why would you try to speak that into existence? I just don't get it. I mean, his career stats are crazy. He's unproven in my eyes.
Well, 100%. I agree with you. I don't think people are really excited. Like, let's be honest, Arizona Cardinals fans, we're not like jumping over the hill when this eventual signing probably happens, right? I mean, he was a 3rd-round pick out of Liberty. He didn't even play big-time college football, guys. He is going into his 5th year, so he has some time frame, but it didn't work in Tennessee when he was drafted, obviously. But they're looking at the small spurts because I think 2024, I think he started 3 games. He won 2 of them. His rating was over like 125 in both of them. And then last year, he helped keep the Packers afloat when Jordan Love went down, when they had 2 big games against the Ravens and the Bears. He had a 134.6 rating versus the Ravens and 142.8 ratings versus the Bears. He completed over 80% of his passes in both of those starts as well and didn't turn the football over. So this is a huge risk. It's obviously a huge risk. But at the same time, right, the Arizona Cardinals have to try and take the risk, especially if you're Monty Austinfort, because this is the last chance for him. He is going to be given this year and this year alone to possibly win 8 games. And if he doesn't, they will go in a new direction. The staff will stay the same, but they will get a new GM in here ready to make the quarterback change within the NFL draft and whatever else they're going to do in the free agent market after that. So this is why this rumor is so big right now, basically.
But what is the goal for the Arizona Cardinals? If you have an opportunity where fans are already expecting virtually nothing from you next season. And so why go out and pay Malik Willis $30 million? You're still going to be paying Kyler Murray, $36 million towards the cap. So you're wasting $66 million of your cap space on quarterbacks. I think there's more of an argument to run it back with Brissett because he has the familiarity with the team. But there's just so many angles to look at this, because you also have the factor of the new head coach, Mike LaFleur. He's going to want to pick his guy. He's going to want to start thinking towards the future. And I totally agree with Tallman. I don't see what the hype is around this guy. Obviously a small sample size and a couple good games last year, but shit, freaking Geno Smith had a pretty good 2024 season, and look how that worked out for the Raiders. I mean, good God, man. I just think the Arizona Cardinals are a franchise of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And it's been a long time since anything has stuck, probably since Carson Palmer.
I mean, Chris, why do you think Michael Bidwell is the only owner in the NFL to receive an F grade in the NFLPA grades? It's because that's exactly how everyone views this franchise right now. But like the biggest thing, like I said, what I think you asked, well, what are the Cardinals' expectations for next year? I'm pretty sure Bidwell probably gave a mandate to Monte. It's like, you have to win, and you have to win over this fan base. And the only way to do that is to try and win. Because if we're going to go into another 3-14 season, making it 6 of the past 7 seasons where we haven't won 5 games, you're going to see even more people leave the stadium. You know, a new facility only does so much for a fan base. We're not the ones experiencing the new facility. We're the one that keeps the capital coming into this franchise and keeping the ability for them to sign high-profile free agents. So I'm with you guys. This is not exciting. We are not excited about Malik Willis, okay? But it's something that they have to do because he is literally the only available free agent that has a possibility of an upside and an undertone of not knowing who he truly could be, because you know, it has been the renaissance of second, third kind of go around guys with Baker and Sam Darnold, and everybody's trying to strike while the iron is hot with that kind of situation. And they're hoping that maybe they can get lucky with Malik Willis. But if not, the amount of cap space that the Cardinals do have, even with having to take on Kyler's contract and dead cap, they still are flush with cash. So they can take this swing. But yeah, I'm with you guys. Nobody's excited.
Yeah,
nobody's excited about this.
And you're right, Mike. I mean, the salary cap even went up, right? So I think it's $300 million, which is a huge number, right? So if they wanted to pay Malik Willis $30 million, they absolutely could. But then it's like, how much do you believe there's actually this mandate by Bidwell to Ossenfort to win at least 8 games? I know Bidwell puts on that face real good, and he really made a statement firing Jonathan Gannon, because I'm sure that's not at all what he wanted to do. But it was like, you can't sell the season ticket holders. You can't sell the Valley on running it back with him. And then you look at what you're mentioning with Brissett and why you're thinking this type of splash needs to happen. How do you sell that to your fans? Oh, Brissett's week 1 starting quarterback, guys. We're gonna compete in the NFC West. We're gonna have a chance to actually make the play. No, it's not going to happen. So I'm with you on that. But I look at Nick Rawlis still has a job. There's a ton of other of these coaches that are still remaining after a team that won 3 games last year. I mean, and then I was here thinking Ossenfort was going to get canned too with Gannon, but that didn't happen. And I just don't see how you can put the expectations of, here, Monty, you got to win this year or you're out of here. When it's like, you look at the draft, we're picking number 3 overall, and there's not that guy there for us, right? There's no way anyone's touching the first overall pick. You could lock that in today, right now. The Raiders are going to pick Mendoza. Mendoza's the only guy that is worth it, that you can hang your hat on and go, boom, right there. That was a no-brainer. There's our franchise quarterback. Kind of like how we felt when they drafted Kyler Murray, right? But that you look forward to 2027, and it's like, how do you not feel that of, hey, let's try to let's not saying try to pull the wool over people's eyes here, but how do we make it look like we're trying to compete with staying relatively good, not spending a lot of money, being good with the cap, and then getting in a good position to get one of these guys who could most definitely be a generational talent next season in 2027. I don't see them doing that. And if they do sign Malik Willis, that's insane. I think that's crazy. Will I get behind it as a fan? Sure. Why the hell not? Let's start the circus up again and see what goes on. The only real one I could think would be the Jimmy G one, where how expensive do you think he could be? I mean, I know we're paying Brissett, like, what is it, $7 million? So, and you throw a 2-year, $20 million deal at Jimmy G, and maybe give that a shot and try to, basically get behind that and get your fans riled up about that. I could see that happening, but the $30 million is just crazy. And I just don't believe anything Bidwell says. He's just, it's one of those, I'll believe it when I see it type deals.
I hope we get Jimmy G, and I hope he says, guys, I'm James Garoppolo now. Call me James. No, but I have a couple things I want to share with you guys. I kind of hope we don't get Jimmy G, but going back to what Mike was talking about with the report card grades and just how the rest of the league views us. Mike, I saw this the other day, and I was going to send it to you guys. I'm glad I held on to it because I want to get your reaction live on air here. This is how the rest of the country and the world views us. It's this tweet within a tweet within a tweet. It says Malik Willis, Tyson Bagent, Geno Smith were 3 names associated to the Arizona Cardinals search at quarterback, according to Johnny Venerable. And then someone retweeted it and said, how do fans of this team even exist? And then Better reposted that and said, wouldn't wish being a Cardinals fan on my worst enemy. Guys, the absolute disrespect. I mean, it's a bad situation. And to make it even worse, Tallman, I don't want to scare you, but I'm looking at Tankathon right now, and their predictions for our 2nd round draft pick 34, is Ty Simpson.
No, please, Lord, no. Help us, Lord. All
That's
please,
yeah.
God.
I don't know about the Ty Simpson thing, dude. I mean, well, I'd like to see them take one of those guys later on. Just take a flyer on it, 5th or 6th round pick or whatever, one of the other prospects. But I don't know if Ty Simpson is the dude. I mean, and 34, I don't think he's going to be there in the 2nd round. There's a team that's going to reach on him. He's going to go high 20s. He's not going to be there unless we trade up. Which, if Mike, if you're right, that's going to happen. I bet you we're going to take one of those edge rushers, 3rd overall, and then they're going to trade up into the 1st round and take Ty Simpson, and then that's going to be Monty's, job saver right there. But I hope that's not what happened.
We're taking an edge rusher? How many freaking rushers do we need?
I mean, do you still think Baron Browning is the next great thing? I mean, you got to have somebody else to go with Josh Sweat, guys, because I mean, you think about Darius Robinson is a bust already right now. Hopefully he can turn it around in year 3. Walter Nolan, we still haven't even heard what injury he had. It was a torn ACL, which whatever everybody thought, but the Arizona Cardinals didn't officially announce his injury. So you're talking about him missing possibly the majority, if not all, of next year's campaign as well. They got to go tackle, but I also think they need to trade back, because you're not going to have to use that number 3 pick for whatever tackle they take with Mayoga or Spencer Fanu or anybody like that. I know that now there's been a lot of rumblings about Jeremiah Love, who he could be another transcendent kind of athlete. But I mean, think about the other transcendent athlete we most recently took, Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, he has a lot to prove next year if he's even going to be a number 1 wide receiver for this team. So yeah, it's going to be a crapshoot. The Cardinals have a lot to work on, and I don't think taking Ty Simpson in this draft class is putting you into any good graces, especially with the fan base, because he has to be a project. He cannot be a week 1 starter. So this is, yeah. Football seems so far away, but with the news cycle nowadays, man, it still makes you mad, even when there's not even going to be games for 7 months. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And the NFL loves it. They love being in the news cycles year round. I mean, look, we're not even at the league year yet. And these headlines are already dominating the news cycles. And yeah, we're still over a month away from the draft. I'm nervous for what's going to happen. The only thing I can think, like, if they evaluate Ty Simpson and they think that they could maybe, groom him to be a starting quarterback where he's not thrown into the fire, then maybe, rolling out Brissett or Jimmy G or Malik Willis for a year or 2, whatever. But I agree with you guys. I don't think that Ty Simpson is the answer, but also, I mean, there's no guarantee that next year you're going to get the pick you need, or that these players are going to be what you need either. I mean, it's all just a crapshoot. I think the last thing I want to say about looking at this thing is what makes me the most sick is right here. Jordan Tyson, 13 to the Rams. That would be absolutely terrible, and I would hate to see it. But you're not going to have to worry about that for a little bit. Like I said, a little over a month away. But, man, the Arizona Cardinals, definitely going to be a heavy point of topic over the summer as we kind of see what they do and building out this roster, free agency, the draft, and all that stuff. But, guys, I say we keep on trekking on this beautiful Tuesday night. And Mike, this was a topic you were excited to talk about. Your alma mater, the Arizona Wildcats men's basketball team, has clinched the Big 12 regular season title. Yeah, man, that's I should have pulled up their record, but they've just been killing it. They just recently beat who was it? Kansas?
Oh, Chris, don't worry. I got you, brother. Yep. Wildcats outright clinched the regular season title with a big win against number 6 Iowa State. Overall in the Big 12, I think they were 2.5 games in front of everybody. They were 15-12 so far. Technically, they still have one more game on Saturday at Colorado. Let's be honest, should be a win. But 28-2 overall. And the big one, 10-2 versus the top 25 this year. The Big 12 is undisputedly the best conference for basketball in America, in North America. My apologies. But yeah, those back-to-back losses at the time versus Kansas, who was number 9, and then Texas Tech, who was number 16, it got them right. It turned them back into the vaunted team that they are, with a 5-game winning streak, including 4 top 25 victories in that 5-game winning streak. Man, big win. They were dominant last night, 73-57 against Iowa State. Jaden Bradley, kind of the senior send-off, had a real nice game, 17 points, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Braden Burries, a great freshman with 11 points, 6 rebounds. They just continue to have big contributions off the bench from Toby Awaka as well, who had, I think, his 6th double-double of the season with 10 points and 15 rebounds. We know that the University of Arizona Wildcats are one of those blue blood programs when it comes to basketball. But this is the first time, guys, in probably about 15 years where they are truly title contenders, and they might just be the favorite. I think it's kind of come down to 3 teams. Obviously, we talk about Duke with the Boozer brothers, Michigan, Matt's favorite. I'd love to ask Matt if he knows anything about their basketball team, but that's besides the point. And then the Wildcats, man, this is going to be a fun March Madness. I know we're going to be doing the bracket here coming soon, but anytime an Arizona team can represent, it's a big win for the Valley. So congrats to the Cats brothers.
Yeah, honestly, I've talked about this on recent streams. I'm warming up to enjoying some University of Arizona basketball, because as much as I love the Arizona State Sun Devils, and that's who I've rooted for my entire life, at a certain point, I can appreciate a team that represents the state of Arizona succeeding in a sport, because we don't have a lot of that, guys. We just really don't. But with what's interesting, I think the most is with this Arizona Wildcats team, it's probably the most promising one we've seen in a long time. And it's not like we haven't seen good U of A teams. I mean, they're constantly highly seeded in these March Madness tournaments, but they've had a 25-year drought of making it to the Final Four. So high expectations, but that's what's so crazy. And that's why it's called March Madness, is because you can be the top seed and it just takes one game. It's a single elimination tournament, and you could find yourself on the outs very quickly. But I'll be rooting for Arizona in the tournament, because there's no shot in hell that ASU is going to make it. I mean, Tallman, am I out of bounds for saying all this?
For rooting for a team from Tucson?
Lightly.
No, I get where you're coming from, because as Arizona fans, we're not used to anybody having continued success year to year. So I get behind it, but I don't know. It just comes down. Obviously, I'm not the big basketball dude, but it comes down to the rivalry with the schools, amongst or across all the sports, right? It's hard to sit there and say, yeah, you're rooting for U of A, but come the tournament, yeah, I'm with you there. I'll admit it. I'll root for them to do good in the tournament. Just gotta hope they don't get matched up with any Ivy League schools in that first round. But
yeah,
that is so true. Yeah, another Buffalo experience. Good Lord, let's be careful with that. Chris, it's okay to like the Arizona Wildcats in Tucson, because remember, one of your most favorite experiences in your life was going to Tucson and going to watch Young Gravy. So you just have so many beautiful memories of Tucson. It's all right.
Did I say that?
No, I said that for you, but whatever helps you be a fan, come on down.
No, that was a good memory. And I mean, there's a few good things about Tucson. They currently have the only existing sweet tomatoes in the entire country, which is a favorite restaurant of Sabrina and I. Was closed down during COVID. Someone rebought that's a whole nother story for another day. But
that is such a random stat, Chris.
I don't know a lot about Tucson.
The only thing they have going for them is they have sweet tomatoes.
U of A basketball and sweet tomato.
Hey, sweet tomatoes is a needle mover. It's a needle mover for Chris. I love it.
Last year, we made the drive down there. I mean, we made other plans while we were down there.
Okay, yeah. I remember you telling me that. I was flabbergasted. Okay, go ahead.
Like all your flabbers were gassed.
Like, I'm going to have such a better view on Goodyear when the Buc-ee's finally opens. You know what I'm saying? Those little things, sweet tomatoes, Buc-ee's, there's just places that are needle movers, man. And a good buffet place, always one of them.
They're not easy to find these days, man. So if you find yourself in Tucson, if you're going to watch a Wildcats game, make the stop. It's worth it. I promise you. If you've never been, it's most definitely worth it. But yeah, gentlemen, really excited. We are now officially in March. So the madness is right around the corner. Tallman asked me the other day when the tournament was, and I said it's in March. So we're finally here. We're kicking off. We're ready to go. And
you weren't supposed to say that.
As Mike said, asked and answered. I gave you an answer.
Yeah,
so.
like you did. Yeah, no shit. It's in March.
I'm here to help, man. I'm here to help always. But yeah, no, we're gonna do a Pass the Outlet here in March, and we're gonna have Stephen Miller on again to go through the bracket, create our VSP bracket, and then we'll also open it up to you guys join us for a bracket challenge, so you can see how you match up with Mr. Benjamin, VSP Tallman, and the rest of the Valley Sports Plug crew. And yeah, hopefully, I don't know. If I put Arizona to win it all, they're not gonna make it to the Final Four. So I might have to intentionally, pick someone else to increase their chances. Cause I'm a little superstitious that way, guys. I'm a little superstitious. But while we're on the topic of basketball, I believe we have one final item on the docket, and it's the Phoenix Suns pregame show. They're tipping off in a little less than an hour at 9 p.m. on Peacock, taking on the Sacramento Kings. And it's the return of Devin Booker, who will pair up with Jalen Green. No Dylan Brooks, of course. He's got the broken hand. I'm only joking about the pregame show, but we'll talk about it a little bit. But there's just some news. There's just some news we got to go over, guys. We got to check in on the Suns. We got to get caught up here. But one of the big stories this week was them converting the contract of one Jamaree Bouyea. I believe it was a 2-year deal. Yes, which includes a non-guaranteed team option for the 2026-27 season. League sources told Hoop Hype Bouyea has averaged 6.5 points on 48% shooting from the field in 15.5 minutes during 33 games played this season. I don't know. Oh, okay, that was okay. I read that as one sentence, but that was the end of the other sentence. Okay, I was like, why did sources have to tell him his stats? Couldn't they just go look it up? But Mike, Bouyea has been obviously a pretty solid role player coming off the bench with limited minutes. What does this signing mean for the Phoenix Suns?
I classify him as like a working man's favorite. Everybody loves the down and dirty dog type of player. And that's exactly what Jamaree Bouyea has been for this Phoenix Suns ball club. With the shortcomings you could say that they had in the backcourt, with only Colin Gillespie being an official point guard, bringing in Jamaree on that, that 2-year the G League deal, basically, so he could go back and forth. All he did was hustle. All he's done is play his role within his limited minutes. And I think he's done a fine job, right? We've been very famously, we might need to start adding this one to our kind of list of isms, if you want to say it. But is he a needle mover? That's the question. I don't know. Is he, what kind of minutes is Jamaree going to be getting in the playoff run that this team hopefully eventually has here? He could be a guy that gets, 10 to 12 minutes off the bench, pairing up with Colin, pushing the pace, doing the little things, getting intense on defense. But he's been consistent. Like, that's the one thing that you can count on from Jamaree. Now, he does have shortcomings. He really is small, so he struggles sometimes to play on the inside on different matchups. But he's that great change of pace who can attack the basket and kind of keep teams off balance on the defensive end. And he's a very unselfish player, finds his guys, and shoots at a higher clip than normal. So this is one of those situations where, a lot of people are labeling it, and you've been seeing it all on social media, that it's more than deserved. And I could attest to that, because the numbers, which I don't know exactly what they are, probably aren't just supernova in regard to what you're going to have to pay for him. And if you can have those consistent type of role players on your roster to continue to build the camaraderie, you need that. And that's what Jamaree Bouyea has done this year for this Phoenix Suns ball club. So I think it's big. I know they just had a big trip as a team out to Flagstaff as well. So this was probably the icing on the cake for Jamaree, knowing that he's going to be around, be ready to go for the playoffs, and be a part of this team for the next couple of seasons. And the Phoenix Suns are truly building something special right now. And you could say that he's one of the key pieces to it.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And I love the name, Jamaree Bouyea. Like, I don't know, it's just a great name. We got some other news. Like I said, Devin Booker is returning tonight. He will have a minutes restriction, but also another acquisition we had signed recently, Haywood Highsmith, is set to make his season debut tonight in Sacramento against the Kings. So a lot of firsts. And I mean, Haywood Highsmith has been highly touted as kind of similar to Jamaree Bouyea in a lot of ways, as far as like that role player, hard worker. Has been kind of a glue guy in a sense in some ways. His career stats won't blow you out of the water by any means. On his career, he's averaging 5.4 points, 3.1 rebounds, 1 assist. So, I mean, really a guy that's going to come in, play limited minutes at 6'5". I do think it's interesting. Like, a lot of these guys are on the shorter side. I mean, the Suns have not added a lot of height, and they even, I guess you could say, downsized a little bit in moving off of Nick Richards. But, you know, you still got Mark Williams, and it's promising what we're seeing from Kamal Malawach, although I don't know how much he's truly going to contribute to this team as it's currently constructed. But you got also the emergence of Oso Ighodaro. I just think I think it's been really good what this team has done with limited expectations and now standing with a basically firm grasp on a playoff spot. If you look at the top 10 teams in the West, the next closest team at number 11 is like, 6 games behind, something like that. Yeah, 6 games back. Memphis is from Portland. So it's pretty much a sure thing, as long as shit doesn't go completely in the toilet for the Suns, that they're going to be in the playoffs. Now, we would prefer that they're not in the play-in, but if they are, hey, that's already better than last season, right? Tallman, I know, like you said, you're not a big basketball guy, admittedly, but with what the Suns are doing this season and them not going crazy at the trade deadline, kind of seeming to make more calculated moves, would you say this is the Brian Gregory effect, the new GM, or is this more Matt Ishbia learning his lesson and making more intelligent moves?
I would say it's more Matt Ish learning his lesson and getting under that luxury tax, because boy, did he get burned, and it didn't work when he first got the team and was just going crazy. No, I think it's great. I mean, obviously, you've touched on all of it. I mean, just what they've been able to do with no expectations, where sounds like we've heard that before. Oh my God, Arizona team, no expectations. Look at them exceed everyone's expectations. But you guys would be so proud of me. I mean, I've been watching more games recently, and I've actually enjoyed it. Except there was a couple I watched where they were not so good. But I do think the Dillon Brooks addition has been great. Just, just basically what he brings to the team, where he's that guy, where he's got the intensity. And I had no idea he was such a pure scorer, man. I know he's got a lot of volume, but I didn't know he could score the basketball like that before he put on a Suns jersey. But you just hope it doesn't fall off right at the end, because they put together something so good. I mean, obviously Dillon Brooks isn't gone forever. I mean, he's going to miss, was it 6 to 8 weeks or something like that? So you're going to get him back at some point. But just with the Devin Booker getting hurt, hopefully he can come back and pick it up. But one of my biggest things is, I've heard you guys go back and forth in the group text, is what the hell is wrong with Jalen Green, man? And everyone's saying, oh, he hasn't gotten fully going yet. He hasn't started enough games yet to get in the groove. But my goodness, talk about somebody who can shoot your team out of a game. And hopefully he can figure that out, because that's him trying to be the guy with Brooks and Booker out. It seemed like it was too tall of a task for him. But I think my favorite player on the team right is Colin Gillespie, man. It has to be, and just what he's transformed into. He's fun to watch. He's fun to watch, and I love him butting in on the post game interviews on the local TV. He's always jumping up there. You can tell he's a team player, and he's just having fun. Where that's what it is with this team. You kick out Kevin Durant, and it's just a group of dudes having fun, playing good basketball, and it's good to see. It's refreshing to see, to say the least.
Yeah, because Kevin Durant is focusing on taking out like 40 models with Jamar Chase. He has different focuses other than basketball. No, that's different. It's funny that you bring up Jalen Green, Tallman, because I still feel like he's working through the rust right now. Technically, he's only played 12 games, but he's shooting a career low, 36% and 27.8% from three. He's only averaging 12.9 points. But yeah, he needs to be the Robin to the Batman of Devin Booker. Whereas we know that, you could almost say for most of this season, even though Devin Booker was an all-star, the Batman has been Dylan Brooks. So I don't ever want to label an injury as a blessing in disguise, but I think this is a perfect opportunity, especially with Devin Booker coming back, going up against the tanking team in the Sacramento Kings, who are fighting for the #1 overall pick, to get both Booker and Jalen into some more cohesion on the floor together and start adding these other pieces slowly back in as we go. Because we know Grayson missed some time as well. Chris already touched on Haywood Highsmith. What does that look like adding into this system as well? It's just excitement, man. It's all exciting. Everything that's going on with the Phoenix Suns, even through the injuries, man. You just can't wait to watch them every night that you can, and you can't wait to see how they perform and where they're going to finish up in the Western Conference, because this is still a daunting task. We got a couple of easier games coming up. I know, looking at the next 6, I think the only one that really might put you off a little bit is Milwaukee, because Giannis should be back by that game. But this is the time to improve your standings, improve your winning streaks, because then we got big games like the Denver Nuggets game on March 24th coming up pretty soon. So it's all good, baby. It's all good for the Phoenix Suns right now.
No, 100% agree with you, Mike. And it's so interesting and almost refreshing in a way where we go into the season with rock bottom expectations. We're like, maybe make the playoffs, but probably not. Just, get some cohesion going. And now we get this. So much to be excited about on top of the $2 tacos you can get at the stadium. And I will always talk about those tacos, and I will always get me 3 or 4 of them when I go to the game now. But man, we being able to watch a team where you don't think they are going to win a championship, and I have no delusions that they'll win a championship, but they're going to be in the playoffs. And honestly, guys, anything could happen, but not getting my hopes up. I won't be crushed if they have a first round exit, or, a second round exit would be honestly great. But if they're able to, get that cohesion, go into the playoffs in full strength, anything can happen. We see injuries happen all the time. All it takes is one of these teams losing one core player and they're fucked. Look what happened to the Indiana Pacers. They lost Tyrese Halliburton and they became a dumpster fire overnight. I don't wish injury on anybody, and I'm not going to say I hope any of these successful teams get injured, because also you don't want to be labeled as an asterisk championship because you got there through an easy path. Or a championship's a championship, so I'll take it. But I don't think this is the championship team. But hey, I'm going to be excited to watch them play playoff basketball again. I'm really looking forward to it, to be quite honest with you guys. This team is fun to watch, and I love it. But guys, I think we do actually have one last topic. There was some breaking news this afternoon, and touching on all the major sports teams in the Valley here. It was news that Denver Broncos owner and Walmart heir Rob Walton quietly bought a 10% ownership stake of the Arizona Diamondbacks 2 years ago, according to several sources. This is really interesting. I don't know how this news flies under the radar for 2 whole years. And Mike, you were telling me a real intriguing part of this story is that neither party was willing to comment on this acquisition. What do you make of that?
Yeah, this one's weird, gentlemen. And obviously the biggest thing is that this happened 2 years ago and it wasn't public knowledge. And this was a big purchase, because if you talk about the valuation where the Diamondbacks were at that point, which was about $2 billion, That's 9 figures. What did you say, Tallman? $200 million
That is correct.
in capital. And I mean, thank God it happened, gentlemen, because from what they're saying, the bulk of the proceeds was used for stadium improvements. And trust me, we've had plenty of comments, and there's still more work to be done, especially with the AC units within that stadium. But man, like this is very, very interesting. And Chris, you said it. The declining to comment from both Walton and Ken Kendrick and the Arizona Diamondbacks, I don't want to say that it's fishy, but it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. But what does that mean for Rob? Because we know he is the owner of the Denver Broncos, but he's 81 years old. I think Tallman was saying, he was valued at $65 billion in 2022, but now he's over almost $150 billion. So, adding more assets to a multi-billionaire, it's interesting. What does that mean for the franchise? I think those are the questions that I start to kind of ponder. Like, what does it mean for future payroll? What does it mean for like long-term stability? What does it mean for championship window? Like, this is so interesting to me. But the last thing I'll throw in, which is it's a little piece of trivia that you guys might not know, but Rob Walton was also an investor for the Motor City Golf Club, which was the first expansion team in the TGL. You probably didn't know that, but we'll throw some trivia out there. Tallman, what do you make of all this, man? 2 years ago, the purchase was made, and now all of a sudden it's just kind of like a little bomb that was dropped on Diamondbacks fans.
Oh, those sneaky snakes, guys. I mean, it's so you mentioned the $2 billion number, 10% stake in it, but all the reporting is he probably didn't, pay $200 million exactly, because there's reporting that, these minority sales might be discounts, premiums applied, whatever. I'm not going to get into all that mumbo jumbo because I don't fully understand all of it anyway. But still, 9 figures coming in, that's huge. That's great. And you're seeing them act quickly on it and upgrading their facility, because downtown Phoenix is not the same without the Diamondbacks. I'm sorry. The Suns could leave, and go somewhere else in the Valley. But if the D-backs ever left downtown, it wouldn't feel right. It's just nostalgic to me, and that's just where they belong. So seeing them do these investments, paying out of their own pocket and getting this influx of cash to be able to do that is incredible. I mean, why they were so secretive about it, I don't know. It screams to me a little bit because the first thing that comes to your mind, Mike, you already said it. It's like, well, okay, are we going to be spending a bunch of money now? Like, what's going on? We got the Walmart guy in here. I mean, shit, does he just want to buy the entire team and we can be the next LA Dodgers? I mean, Phoenix is turning into mini LA. Why don't we turn into the mini Dodgers right now? All jokes aside, of course. But if he's only buying 10% and they're not out here, I mean, if he wanted to turn the Diamondbacks into, one of those high spending teams, he would have just bought the team, right? I mean, I don't, this doesn't scream to me that he's going to come in, he's going to put in all this cash, we're going to spend all this money. I mean, it was silent for 2 years. I'm thinking it's just a little investment for him. But I mean, because 2 years ago, we were coming off of being pretty hot shit with the World Series run. I would love for it to be meaning that we're going to be spending a bunch of money but I just don't see that happening really. And I'm curious to see what more information comes out on this and, what each party has to say, because this was a surprise. I was like, what the hell? I mean, I heard about it earlier, but I didn't even realize it was 2 years ago that this all happened. But hey, at least they're using that money for good, and we're going to see some upgrades at Chase Field, but probably not some AC yet. But hey, it's a good step forward.
Yeah, I mean, why couldn't we get some new AC? But I do like the new video board. I'm excited to see that in person. I mean, you mentioned Rob Walton being 81. I mean, shit, Ken Kendrick is no spring chicken. The guy is 83 years old. And I was just doing some fast research here to be like, well, what's the succession plan here? Is he just going to full on sell it? Maybe there is a plan to sell it to Rob Walton or some type of ownership group. And then I'm like, okay, maybe he has some kids. Maybe we're going to see some kind of Michael Bidwill situation. His eldest son is 29 years old. This man had a kid when he was 54 years old. I don't think a 29-year-old is likely ready to run a billion-dollar organization. And it doesn't seem like Ken Kendrick is looking towards relinquishing that responsibility. But I think it's interesting. I keep saying interesting, guys. I guess that's my favorite word, because like this is all just so weird. And I don't know what it means, and we can only speculate because they're not willing to speak on it. So I guess we'll see what happens. But all in all, I do think the Diamondbacks are trending in the right direction. I really like their willingness to spend in recent years, and it looks like we're on the up and up. And all of this stuff aside, the product on the field is getting better every year. And honestly, last year a bit of a dip, maybe the year before that as well. But we were in when you make the World Series in 2023, there's nowhere you can't go up from there aside from winning the whole thing. So, and it's unrealistic to think that your team's going to be in the World Series every year. And we're in a tough division, guys. Let's be honest. So we want to be back in the playoffs, though, and I think having owners willing to spend and money for the team is going to help with that overall goal and mission. So I'm sure we may or may not. I mean, in another 2 years, maybe we'll get some more information on this. Maybe some other news about the overall sale of the team. But hoping and thinking that this means that the Diamondbacks are here to stay in Arizona, and we can put those obviously we put the Vegas rumors to rest, but we can put any other city in the country to rest. I don't think that's going to happen. But fellas, it's been a good time. We got to touch on all the major teams. Like I said, about to wrap this up here and go watch some Phoenix Suns basketball, some NBA After Dark over there on NBC Peacock. But want to give you guys the floor as always one last time to share any thoughts you have on life, the current state of Arizona sports, or anything really. Let's try and keep it sports related though. Tallman, what you got, man? What you got?
Yeah. Let's see. What was I've been so excited with all the social media shit about Kyler Murray. Was that who sent the video? Oh no, I got the video on Instagram. Was it Mike? Did you send me that video of Kyler Murray where it was like the Call of Duty man? Oh, I was dying. I saw that like an hour before the stream, and I was like, "That's so good." But you just look at his Twitter post. I was going through all the replies on there. Man, people, obviously it's Twitter or X. People are just so ruthless, dude. And I was getting a kick out of it. I really was. But yeah, no, this has been a monumental day for the Cardinals, because they had the balls to say, you know what, it didn't work. Yeah, I know we owe them a bunch of money, but let's move on, right? So that's a good step forward. And like we've said a bunch already, I mean, I don't wish Kyler Murray the worst, but damn, it looks like I'm going to have two teams I'm following next year, because I am curious to see what he does wherever he goes in the league. That's definitely something I'm going to be following. But hey, it's an end of an era. Never thought I'd ever say it, but it happened. It's incredible stuff.
And just because it's the end of an era doesn't mean the era was good. Let's make that perfectly clear.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely.
But an era nonetheless. No, I share that sentiment with you, Tallman. I'm definitely, kind of like with DeAndre Ayton, we wanted to see what he would do post Phoenix Suns, a little bit Kevin Durant, but to a lesser extent. But very similar to the DeAndre Ayton situation. And we see how that's working out. He's not Clint Capella. Clint Capella might be better. But Mike, what do you got, brother?
I mean, is it hard to say goodbye? I used that Boyz II Men song on my Instagram story for the stream tonight. It still is a little bit, because you talk about the investment that you had. The guy was here for 7 years. He was the #1 overall pick. The only thing we ever wanted for Kyler Murray was to be successful and bring this team to the promised land. And it didn't work out. It's time to move on. I'm so happy the Arizona Cardinals are making this decision. And like I said, I'll double down once again, making it early so they can start figuring out what the next moves are. Yeah, that Call of Duty man video was pretty good. I've seen a lot of those like AI videos. I saw one with string cheese hamstrings for Jalen Green. I don't know if you guys have seen those ones either. I'll have to send them your way, but
please.
I have to bring this up. This will be the last thing I'll say to end the stream tonight, but we will touch on it more on the next Pass the Outlet. But we just had so much stuff to talk about. This one is a huge one, obviously, for the Valley. And it's a big congratulations to Diana Taurasi, who will be entered into the Phoenix Mercury Ring of Honor on Sunday, August 16th, 2026. I know I will be in attendance. I will be making sure to get there any which way. I don't care if I'm in the nosebleeds because, gentlemen, say what you want. Diana Taurasi is on the Arizona sports Mount Rushmore. You just can't debate it, man. She is one, if not the greatest, to ever do it in women's professional basketball. So shout out Diana. But man, I mean, what a perfect day, because we got hit with some bombs today, obviously with Kyler Murray, but just the past couple of days have been a freaking, I won't say train wreck, but it's been a heavy barrage of Arizona sports news, and I wouldn't want to break it down with anybody else. Gentlemen, always a pleasure, never a chore. Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. And I think that's awesome. Obviously a no-brainer for Diana Taurasi to be in the Ring of Honor. And I was just seeing that that game on August 16th will be against the brand spanking new WNBA team, the Portland Fire. So, you know, double dip in there. You get to see the Ring of Honor induction of Diana Taurasi, and you get to see a new WNBA team. So we'll talk, Mike. I might be up for joining you for that game. That sounds like a fun summer activity. Enjoy the ace, the actual well-functioning AC of the morgue, the Mortgage Matchup Center in downtown Phoenix. No, guys, this has been an awesome stream. I didn't get permission to do this, but we're at the end of the stream. I'm going to do it anyway. And I think he'd be okay with it because he is a Valley Sports Plug contributor. Big shout out and congratulations to Mr. T Jr. Matt got his very first hole-in-one at the Bear Creek Cub Course. He was golfing with his brother here at VSP Tallman, who was digging beer out of the cooler and didn't actually see the shot itself. But Tallman, can you share with us what that moment was like for Mr. T Jr.?
Yeah, no, I took that picture. And I know I was, hey, priorities, man. You got to have cold beer.
Oh, no, I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, you got to have cold beer. You can't fuck around. No, it was one of those, because it was a long par 3, so it was like 200 yards. So it's like we're on top of it. It bounced a couple times and just disappeared. And he's like, I think it went in the hole. And I was like, you know, we're with our father as well, and we're like, I don't know. I think it's on the backside of the green. And sure as shit, it was in the hole. And I've obviously never had one personally, but I've never even witnessed one either. So it was crazy. He did a couple laps around the green, and we celebrated with the cold beer. It was good. It was a good time.
No, yeah, I can only imagine. Obviously, I've never hit a hole in one either. Hope to do it one day. But that's really awesome to do it on a long par 3 as well. And I think it sounds like he didn't buy everyone in the clubhouse a beer. So I think next time we all go out,
he did not.
He's going to have to go and buy us a beer. So
yes, yeah, he broke the one rule. So
shame.
Oh, we're gonna hold him to it. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we'll be in the clubhouse and we'll make him buy us a beer then. So Matt, if you're watching live or watching back, consider this your official notice. You're gonna have to buy us beers. But big congratulations, man. That is freaking awesome. It's no wonder you are grinning ear to ear in that picture. But fellas, like Mike said, it's always a pleasure to hop on here and chat Arizona sports with you. And it's a fun time to be an Arizona sports fan. I mean, as much as the Cardinals are down, the Suns are up. D-backs are about to get underway here at the end of the month, and the World Baseball Classic starts up tomorrow. So if you want to watch some meaningful baseball, you'll be able to see that tomorrow. I'm super excited. I think it's basically either going to be Japan or the USA. Hoping it's the USA, but we'll see what happens. Fellas, this was a lot of fun as always. Anyone who's still watching live or at this point of the video and our playback, we appreciate you so much. You are a real one. If you're not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel right here, Valley Sports Plug, and hit that notification bell so you can see when we're going live and when we post new videos. Just last Friday, we posted our VSP heat check, and that is available now. So we had a good discussion there talking about Larry Fitzgerald being inducted into the Hall of Fame and a little bit more. So it was a little bit of a lighter than normal heat check podcast, but it was fun nevertheless, and always a good time to join these gentlemen in person and virtually here on our VSP Live, as it is called now. But once again, all of our links are in the description below. Please also follow us on Instagram, X, TikTok, and so much more. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chris Patrick for Mr. Benjamin and VSP Tallman. We'll see ya. Peace.
for one last time, this is Al McCoy saying thanks for being there. Thanks for being with us tonight. And from the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, we'll just say so long for now.